Hi everyone, welcome to the Whiteleyverse with me, Connor Whiteley, for another daily short story. Now, before I start today's story, please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to buy this short story and any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers and at your local bookstore and local library if you requested, and you can order paperback copies from Amazon. Now, here's today's short story. I hope you enjoyed just as much as I did writing it.
Love in the ingredients. Running his fingers gently over the smooth marble worktop of his kitchen, Sean took a deep breath of the cinnamon-scented air that reminded him of delicious apple pies as a kid as he prepared himself for his next batch of cookies. He was never normally this nervous about baking. He loved it. He loved the chemistry and the changes within the baked goods as they cooked and transformed into stunning perfection. But after the year him and his family had had, he just needed everything to go right. As he felt the warmth from his black oven travel up his legs, he knew he had to get going on the next batch. Looking at the silver bowl, teaspoons and spices in front of him, Sean sighed a little as he remembered why he was doing all of this. A part of him didn't want to bake yet another batch of cookies. He was sure if this was a normal time, then Sean knew he would have loved to bake even more. But these were not normal times. At least not to him. After his parents finding out he was gay in the January, and all the loud moaning, screaming and unfriendliness that followed, Sean just wanted his dinner at Christmas to go well. His parents said they were sorry, but he just wanted things to be okay. Sean could hardly say that he wasn't surprised when his mum called up and asked if they could come round today for dinner. At first Sean so badly wanted to say no. After everything they had put him through, Sean didn't want to see them. But he did love them, care about them and want to see them. So to his utter surprise, he said yes. The sound of cookies sizzling, cars driving past, and the quiet Christmas songs in the background made Sean smile and push all those negative thoughts aside. This was going to be great. His parents and him were going to have an amazing dinner. But first, he needed to make something special to go with coffee after dinner. Even that memory of having coffee and something special after a grand meal made Sean relax a little. Those times with his posh family were long gone. He wasn't invited anymore, but whilst the time lasted, it was great. Returning his attention to the neatly arranged bowls, teaspoons, and spices in front of him, Sean took out his phone and looked at the recipe. It was a recipe for brandy snaps that one of his friends had sent him. Sean wasn't exactly sure if they were nice or if they were suitable for his parents' posh taste. They sounded posh, but in Sean's experience that meant very, very little. As he looked at the phone and the stupidly small text, Sean read that he needed butter, flour and sugar, so he measured it and weighed it all out. With his strong arms mixing the butter and sugar together into a smooth paste before he added the flour, Sean knew this was going to be good. It was butter and sugar. What else did the dessert need? For a moment, Sean remembered how his sister had actually had that in a sandwich before. Even now, Sean hated the idea and found it completely disgusting, but he did love his sister. She was always a laugh. At least from what Sean remembered. After mixing that all together, Sean added the vanilla, milk, and coffee. He mixed it all up for a few seconds and licked his lips. Sean knew that if his parents didn't enjoy this, then something was very wrong with them. They loved coffee, sweet things, and vanilla. This was going to be the perfect thing to finish up a wonderful evening. A part of Sean wondered if that last part was true. After everything that had happened, he didn't want tonight to be awkward or strange. He had a feeling, knew for a fact, that his father didn't want to come. It was just how he was. It was probably his mum that had arranged it all. At least he might have one ally in case things go wrong. Sean relaxed a little at that idea. It was silly to feel like he needed allies, but after the past year, very little surprised him anymore. Returning his attention to his phone, he accidentally clicked off the recipe, so as he was trying to find it again, Sean wondered if he would be invited back to family events anytime soon. He wasn't really sure he cared that much. He was fine with being gay, and he was more than happy. It was everyone else that was the problem. Sean smiled as he thought about the look on his family's face if he brought a boy back to them. Then he frowned as Sean remembered he had never had a boyfriend. He had always been too scared to get one. That needed to change. After finding the recipe again, Sean looked at the last ingredient that he needed and rolled his eyes. He needed cream. He didn't have any. Taking a step away from the bowl of all the delicious ingredients and breathing in the coffee-scented air, Sean wondered what to do next. He had to make these brandy snaps for his parents. He couldn't not make them. The fate of his relationship could be on the line. Forcing himself to relax, Sean looked at the time and frowned when he saw it was 4 in the afternoon. His parents said they were coming at 6, which in real life meant they were coming at 5:30. Sean didn't have time for this, but he had to make them. He had to find some cream. As Sean remembered there was a shop within walking distance, he turned off the oven and put his mix in the fridge. Then he dashed off, not knowing what he was going to find. Hayden stared at his watch as he leant on the cold plastic till with sweets and scratch cards all around him as he waited for customers that were never going to turn up. The cold air smelt of cigarette smoke from the awful smokers outside, and Hayden hated the taste it formed in his mouth. But the sound of the smokers outside, the singing of Christmas songs, and the jolliness of little children running with their parents made him smile for a moment. Then Hayden turned his attention back to his little shop, with rows upon rows of food of all different types for people to buy. It wasn't even his shop, it was his father's. A part of Hayden wondered why he bothered manning the shop for his father, when his father could hire another young person who needed the money, and might actually enjoy it. During the week, Hayden loved being an office worker for his friend's company in insurance. But this customer-less shop was not what Hayden wanted to do with his Saturday afternoon. Looking back at his watch, Hayden rolled his eyes as it was only 4:10. He wanted it to be 5 o'clock so he could go home and start decorating his Christmas tree in his little apartment. He knew it would be more fun to have a boyfriend or someone else help him, but Hayden didn't have anyone yet. Normally his best friend came over and they would make a thing out of it, but she was away on business this weekend. As Hayden listened to the smokers and everyone else walk away from outside the shop, he cocked his head as he wondered if he should just close up early. His father wouldn't mind, and if he moaned about loss of earnings, which his father didn't need either, Hayden supposed he could give him some money. Nodding to himself, Hayden was about to walk out from behind the counter when, wow! Hayden almost swore. Hayden's mouth dropped open when he saw an utterly stunning man about his age walk into the shop. The man's hair was beautifully long, that seemed to flow down his shoulders like it was made from water. This man was fit with strong arm muscles, and wearing his tight black coat and black jeans made him look even more stunning. Hayden couldn't believe how amazing the man looked. Somehow, this man even managed to make his skin look smooth, young, and utterly amazing. But what really did it for Hayden was the man's striking blue eyes. The man was perfection. Hayden had to stop his thoughts from wondering what he would like to do to the man's hair and his amazing body. By this point, Hayden hadn't realized the man had walked over to the till area with an equally massive smile. Hayden wanted to force himself to say something, but he couldn't. The man was so beautiful, and that's all he could focus on. It was that moment Hayden knew he was going to be in trouble, or maybe love. Breathing in the horrible smoke from the smokers standing outside the shop, Sean waved at them as they started to sing Christmas songs at him. But Sean couldn't really understand the image of Christmas singers smoking. The two didn't seem to connect in his mind. With Sean knowing he had to get some cream no matter what, he watched the smokers put out their cigarettes and walk down the street singing their Christmas songs loudly, and he entered the shop. When he walked into the shop, Sean ignored the rows upon rows of great-looking foods and all the other essentials that people would need and didn't want to go to a supermarket for. Instead, Sean knew it was best to just ask the person at the till. As he looked around for the till, Sean felt the cold wrap around him, and he was instantly glad he hadn't done what he normally did, and take off his coat as soon as he walked in anywhere. For a few moments of looking, Sean found the till, and the amazing smell of strong aftershave filled the air as Sean looked at the. Sean didn't know what to think or say or do as he stared into the drop-dead gorgeous eyes of the guy at the till. He was definitely Sean's age, with an amazing slim body and short blonde hair. But what really did it for Sean was the guy's face. It was squarish, but it was perfectly smooth, and it was perfectly framed by his eyes and hairs with a strong jawline. The guy looked like some sort of movie star. He shouldn't have been working in some shop. He should be working on film sets, sweeping up women and hopefully men, and enjoying being a movie star. Sean instantly felt bad, as he never ever acted like this whenever he normally saw a guy he liked. He would try and ignore his feelings, or he would just suppress them and never act on them. Actually being attracted and thinking like this towards the till guy was strange. But it felt so good to him. Remembering why he was there, and trying to stop his wayward parts from doing things, Sean walked up to the till guy. Partly because he needed cream, partly because Sean had to talk to till guy. But when he got to the till, Sean couldn't stop smiling as he breathed in more of the till guy's stunning aftershave and looked deeper into his amazing eyes. Sean knew he had to talk, so he just went for it. I need cream. Parents hate me. I'm gay. I need to create a nice dish. They're coming tonight. I need cream. As soon as he finished, Sean wanted to run out of the shop and never return, but to his utter surprise, the till guy smiled even more and looked to take a few deep breaths. Sean took a few deep breaths of his own. I'm sorry, I know I must have sounded strange. Do you have any cream, please? Sean asked. Yes, it's in the back next to the milk. And if it helps, it's okay. I don't know about family not taking it well, but I do understand it, the till guy said. For some reason, Sean relaxed and felt a weight he didn't even know he was holding. He had always thought he was okay with what had happened, but he supposed it was nice to hear he wasn't alone in people not liking him. Friends? Sean asked. The till guy nodded. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm Sean. Sean's eyes narrowed on the till guy as he seemed to smile and bite his lip at hearing his name. He wasn't exactly sure how to act. Sean had never had this happen to him before. I'm Hayden, till guy said. Now Sean wanted to kick himself as he noticed he had bit his own lip. Hayden was a hot name. Hell, Hayden was hot. In some bad attempt to stop himself from doing something foolish, Sean walked to the back of the shop and grabbed a large cold bottle of cream. Why are your parents coming tonight? Hayden asked. Sean opened his mouth, but he realized he really didn't know. I'm sorry. That was probably too personal, Hayden said. No, it's fine. I just don't know. I just wanted to go well, Sean said, feeling a bit lightheaded as Hayden smiled at him once more. Have you got a friend going with you? Hayden asked. Sean's eyebrows rose. He had no idea why he needed to have a friend. He had hoped everything would be fine without anyone else, but what if Hayden knew something Sean didn't? Sorry. I remember when some of my friends wanted to come back. I felt like it helped me to have my bestie with me, Hayden said. Sean's eyes narrowed. It wasn't a bad idea, and he had thought about having allies earlier. Maybe this would be a good idea. But who could he call this late on a Saturday afternoon? Sean wondered what his best friend was doing, but he was probably busy with his own boyfriend. His other friends probably had Christmas plans this weekend, and he didn't have anyone else. The amazing smell of Hayden's strong aftershave made Sean smile as he decided he had to do something crazy. Do you want to come? Sean quickly asked. As soon as he said it, he felt like an idiot. He had only just met Hayden, and he was basically asking him out on a date. He couldn't do that, could he? Sean just wanted to run out the shop. But to his surprise, Hayden looked a little flushed. Yes, Hayden said, sounding as unsure as Sean. Sean didn't exactly know what to do, so he smiled and pretended to act natural, and completely trying not to panic inside. Great, parents coming at 5:30. Dinner for 6, Sean said, failing to sound cool. Then Sean saw the time on Hayden's watch and his eyes widened. It was 4:30. He had to go. He got out his wallet, but Hayden touched his hand softly. Sean couldn't help but smile at the pure power flowing between them. He loved it. He loved the feeling. He wanted more. "Sean, it's fine. I'll pay." Sean nodded and gave Hayden a boyish grin as he left the shop, looking forward to dinner for an entirely new reason now. As he watched the shop door close, Hayden's eyes widened as he just realized what he'd done. Breathing in the cold air with hints of smoke from those smokers earlier, Hayden looked around at all the rows upon rows of food and other essentials. He didn't know what he was looking for, but he hoped to find something. In all honesty, Hayden guessed he was probably looking for a nice bottle of wine or something to take to his new dinner host. The sound of Christmas songs and cars driving past quietly filled the air as Hayden slowly walked past the shelves of food to the back of the shop where the wine was kept. A part of Hayden wanted to kick himself for what he just agreed to. Whenever he was normally around boys, he was calm, collective, and he would never ever agree to go on a random dinner date with a hot man he only just met. But Sean was special. Hayden rolled his eyes as he knew he sounded like some loved-up person, but he really believed it. He loved Sean's amazing long hair, eyes, and his stunning strong arms. It still didn't make Hayden feel any better. He still felt like he was intruding in something important and something that was nothing to do with him. But it was. As Hayden remembered how much support his best friend had given him during his own dinner with friends that had called him awful things, Hayden didn't want to tell Sean that it would be awkward at times, and maybe it would go badly. Then Hayden remembered that it was his best friend that had supported him and made sure it went smoothly as possible. Hayden had always loved his best friend for that. Yet Sean didn't have anyone like that available. When he got to the end of the shop, Hayden stared at all the black, clear, and even red bottles of wine that were neatly arranged in tall rows on the shelf in front of him. The fridge behind the shelf hummed along to itself, and Hayden ran his fingers across the cold glass of the bottles. Hayden felt his hand shake a little as he looked over and over the wine labels, as if his life depended on choosing the right bottle for the dinner. He knew he was being silly, but he supposed he needed this to go right. He needed Sean to like him, but most of all, Hayden needed to be there to support Sean. When his fingers were starting to turn a little numb from the cold glass of all the wine, Hayden touched the label of an expensive red wine from France. It was one of the more expensive ones in the shop, but for some reason it felt right. Hayden looked at the price tag, and he surprised even himself. The wine was definitely way over £10, a price he would never consider buying before, but on this occasion it felt right. It felt okay. It felt good. Picking up the cold bottle of red wine, Hayden looked around the shop and saw it was completely empty like it was before. There was no one coming, no more customers, no more money coming in today. Everyone was out living their lives. So Hayden knew he had to do the same. He had to pay for the cream and wine, go home, get changed, and go and support an utterly stunning man. After whipping up the cream with vanilla and sugar added to it, Sean took a deep breath of the stew-scented air with other hints of sweet desserts mixed into it too. Sean loved the smell. It was so welcoming, so inviting, so relaxing. The last one might have been wishful thinking, but Sean hoped not. He really, really wanted this all to go perfectly. As he popped the cream in the fridge for later, Sean pressed his back against the cold gray fridge and took a few more deep breaths. He wasn't relaxed, he knew that, but he didn't know why. He knew tonight was tense, and it could go wrong in a million different ways, but Sean knew he was okay on that front. He had made amazing food, even got his parents a present or two each, and he had a support person. Just the reminder of what he had dragged Hayden into made Sean accidentally bang the back of his head against the bridge. A part of Sean didn't know why he invited a complete stranger into his life like that, and more importantly, to a dinner with his parents. He supposed he didn't need another factor to annoy his parents. What if his parents didn't like Hayden? Why did it matter? Sean cocked his head as he remembered that question from his best friend, soon after his parents had said awful things to him. He didn't know why it mattered, but it did. Sean loved his parents, he wanted them in his life, he wanted to be accepted. But then Sean realized no matter what happened tonight, if Hayden turned up, then everything was going to be okay. Hayden was a super hot guy that Sean needed to be with. Hayden was hot, kind, and Sean knew he would be perfect boyfriend material. Then his stomach churned, as Sean wondered what if he was the problem. Sean had never had a boyfriend before, he didn't know what to do, how to date, The sound of a knock on the door made Sean tense, then relax as he looked at the time, and it was before 5:30. It was Hayden. He had actually come. Sean felt his hands go sweaty as he realized that Hayden actually cared about him. Sean had never known a man to care about him before. Maybe this could work out, maybe tonight was going to be great, maybe. The sound of the door knocking got louder, and Sean smiled as he walked through his house to the door and opened it. His smile deepened as he looked into the striking blue eyes and stunning movie star face of Hayden. Sean placed his hand on the doorframe and couldn't help but stare at the stunning man in front of him. Hayden placed his hand on the doorframe too, and they both smiled like schoolboys as their fingers touched each other. And it was then that Sean changed his mind about the entire evening. He really didn't care about what happened, because he had Hayden, and he hoped that this was going to last a very long time. And this all happened because of some ingredients.
Welcome back everyone, it's me again, Connor Whiteley. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's story, because I flat out love writing, creating stories and sharing them with you. If you really enjoyed today's story, then please remember to like, comment and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new content, and the engagement really helps the Whiteleyverse with the YouTube algorithms. And if you want to buy this short story or any of my other fiction, then they're available from all major ebook retailers, and you can get them from your local library if you requested, and you can order the paperback copies from Amazon, your local bookstore or local library if you request it. Lastly, if you want to support the channel on a one-off basis, then you can now buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/Connor Whiteley. Also, if you know anyone who would enjoy today's story, then please share it with them. I'm always really grateful when you wonderful people help spread the word about the channel. So, thanks for watching the Whiteleyverse, and I'll see you again soon. Have a great day, everyone.